Welcome to Mock Interview Pro, where today we're diving into the fascinating and critical role of a pathologist. If you're preparing for an interview in this field, you're in the right place. Let's get started with our first question about collaborating with law enforcement on challenging cases. Can you tell me about a time when you worked closely with law enforcement on a tough case? How did you handle the collaboration? And what was the end result? This question is really about understanding how you work with others, especially in high pressure situations with law enforcement. They want to see your teamwork skills in action. Let's dive into some tips on how to answer this effectively. Pick a specific case that really shows off your ability to collaborate. Explain the roles both you and the law enforcement team played. Talk about the communication strategies you used to ensure everyone was on the same page. Highlight any challenges and how you tackled them. Wrap up with a positive outcome and what you learned. Now, here's how you might put that all together in a polished answer.
In a case involving a suspicious death, I teamed up with local law enforcement to collect crucial evidence. I organized regular briefings to keep everyone in the loop about autopsy results and findings. We faced some hurdles with conflicting timelines, but we overcame them by creating a shared timeline of events. This collaboration ultimately led to the identification of the suspect, and the case was successfully prosecuted.
By the way, we're only covering a handful of questions in this video, but I've prepared a free PDF with all 30 top interview questions for pathologists. It also includes example answers and tips to help you prepare with confidence. The download link is just below. Can you share an example of a particularly challenging autopsy you performed and how you solved the difficulties you faced? This question is about demonstrating your problem-solving skills. They want to see how you handle the trickier aspects of the job. Here are a few pointers to help you shape your response. Select a real case that was tough but ended well. Clearly describe the specific challenges you encountered. Outline the steps you took to investigate and resolve the issues. Talk about any collaboration with other pros or specialists. End with what you learned and how it enhanced your skills. Let's take a look at an example. Answer to illustrate this.
I once performed an autopsy on a body that had been severely burned. The challenge was identifying the cause of death without clear evidence. I carefully examined internal organs and noted signs of smoke inhalation. Consulting a forensic toxicologist to analyze potential substances in the blood revealed smoke inhalation as the cause. This experience taught me the importance of teamwork in complex cases.
Tell me about a time when your attention to detail significantly impacted the outcome of a forensic investigation. This is all about your meticulous nature. They're looking for examples where your keen eye made a real difference. Let's go over some guidance for crafting your answer. Choose a specific case you've worked on. Highlight the particular details you focused on. Explain how your detail orientation led to a key finding. Discuss the impact this had on the investigation. Conclude with what you learned from the experience. Here's an example of how you might answer this question.
During a homicide investigation, I noticed small trace evidence of paint on the victim's clothing. By analyzing this detail, we were able to match it to a specific make and model of a car, leading us directly to the suspect's vehicle.
Imagine you perform an autopsy and discover something unexpected that could change the course of a criminal investigation. What steps do you take next? This question is testing your ability to handle surprises and adapt your approach in real time. Here are some key points to consider when formulating your response. Document the finding in detail with photos and notes. Notify law enforcement immediately about the new evidence. Think through the implications of the finding and discuss with relevant parties. Review case files to see how this new evidence fits with what you know. Follow evidence preservation protocols before leaving the scene. Here's a sample answer to guide you.
First, I would document the unexpected finding thoroughly with photographs and detailed notes. Then, I would immediately notify the investigating officers, as this new evidence might change the direction of the case. I would also review the case files to see how this evidence fits in with what we already know.
You're called to testify in a trial about your findings, but the opposing counsel questions your credibility. How do you respond? This question is about maintaining professionalism and composure when your expertise is under scrutiny. Here are some strategies to help you handle this type of situation. Stay calm and composed when faced with challenging questions. Reinforce your qualifications and experience relevant to the case. Provide clear, factual responses backed by evidence. Acknowledge the validity of the questioning without conceding credibility. Use examples of your past work to illustrate your reliability. Now, let's look at a way to articulate this in an interview setting.
I appreciate the concern regarding my credibility. I have been a forensic pathologist for over 10 years, conducting thousands of autopsies. My findings in this case are supported by the forensic evidence and consistent with standard practices in the field.
Before we wrap up, remember you can get all 30 questions, example answers, and step-by-step tips in a handy PDF. Totally free. Just grab it below.